Okay, children, now we will start with animal tissues. So, when we talk about animal tissues, it should be clear that all the organisms, higher organisms other than plants, are included in animals. For example, human beings will also fall under this category. So, the main kinds of animal tissues which are present in animals are divided into four categories: epithelial, connective, muscular, and neural. Epithelial refers to the membrane, that means the lining or the covering. For example, the covering of the body which is wrapped around the skin. So, skin will fall under epithelial tissue. Similarly, you know that all the organs have their own coverings, that is, we call it membrane or lining. So, that lining is made up of special cells we call epithelial cells, and it forms epithelial tissue. Similarly, you all are familiar that all living organisms, animals, they have muscles that will together constitute the muscular tissue. And you also know that we all have nerve cells and nerves, neurons that together will form the neural tissue. So, apart from these three, whatever other type of tissues are present in the body, for example, the tissues which bind the various cells, various organs and keep them in proper place, everything will fall under connective tissue. So let us start with first, that is epithelial tissue. So as I told you, it covers the surface of the body and various body cavities and internal organs. So you should know, whenever this term comes epithelial, it means, for animals, it means the lining, that is the covering, and that covering provides protection from germs, protection from drying up of the cells, and also protection from mechanical injuries. Okay, so basically, according to the structure, if we talk about the structure of the cells of this tissue, so we have three types of cells. The cells of epithelial tissue can either be flat and irregular, as shown in this figure. Flat and irregular, we call them squamous epithelium. If the cells are cuboidal in shape, for example this one, as you can see, these are called cuboidal epithelium. And if the cells are elongated means column-like, so we call this epithelial tissue as columnar epithelium. So based upon the structure, the cells can be squamous means flat and irregular cells, cuboidal according to this shape, and columnar when the cells are column-like or elongated. So you have to, you should know one example or at least two examples where this type of tissue is found. For example, squamous epithelium, which are thin and flat and with prominent nuclei closely packed, are found in lining of mouth, nasal cavities, blood vessels and lymph vessels. And as I told you, function will be protection. And this cuboidal and columnar, here they have given the examples. So you underline where in the body such type of tissue is found. Then if the cells of epithelial tissue are found in many layers, for example in your skin, means many layers of such kind of tissues, maybe same, maybe this, or maybe like for here they have given two types. All these are flat and irregular, but lowermost is cuboidal. So if we have many layers of such cells, we call it stratified. Please underline stratified. Stratified means several layered cells. And the columnar cells, the column-like cells, if they can further be of two types. If they have protoplasmic projections, that is projections of the cytoplasm, we call these as cilia. Such cells will be called ciliated columnar epithelium. And in some types, the cells of these columnar cells, some of these cells are folded, or we can say invaginated towards the inner side, forming glands. These glands, they produce certain secretions. For example, your tear glands, sweat glands, etc. So then we will call them glandular epithelium. I mean to say that generally we have three shapes: squamous, cuboidal and columnar. But if these type of cells are present in layers, then you will say stratified epithelium. If columnar cells have cilia, we will call it ciliated epithelium. If columnar cells have glands, we will call them glandular epithelium. So here a detailed description is given. So you read from here and you have to just underline the examples where such type of cells are found. For example, ciliated in trachea windpipe. These cilia, they constantly keep lashing and they move the materials which enter these regions. Similarly, glandular epithelium. At certain places in the body, glandular epithelium is folded inward to form hollow tubular glands. For example, sweat glands, tear glands. So, sweat glands will have glandular epithelium. Trachea, that is the windpipe, will have ciliated columnar epithelium. So, like you have to learn such kind of examples. The next type of tissue is connective tissue. So, as the name suggests, connective, it connects the various body organs. It binds the tissues together and keeps them in proper place. And generally, so based upon this, it can be either very rigid, means hard. If it is rigid, it will be made up of fibers. When we say fibers, means we are talking about protein fibers. Protein fibers are present here and there in the body, such as elastin or collagen fibers. Okay, and they may be fluid connective tissue, for example, made up of blood and lymph, or supportive like bones, cartilage. So all these together come under connective tissue. So further we can divide them in three categories. One is connective tissue proper, which serves for packing and binding the organs. Supportive, as the name suggests, gives support. So which organs give supports which body parts? Cartilages and bones. And fluid connective tissue, that will be blood and lymph. The first one is connective tissue proper. So further it is categorized into three. Areolar, that is packing tissue. It is present beneath the epidermal layer, beneath the skin, and it makes the skin elastic and helps to withstand pulling strain. For example, it is shown in the figure. Then adipose. You all know that adipose refers to the fat tissue. The cells which are fat cells, fat storing cells, are known as adipocytes. And these cells, they not only provide protection but also help in insulating the body, that is provide warmth to the body. So particularly this tissue is present around the delicate organs, for example eyeballs, kidneys, etc. Okay, and the third category is fibrous. So as I told you, fibrous means made up of protein fibers. You can see in this diagram they have shown you, this is the fluid matrix. So these are the fibers. Fibers means protein fibers like elastin and collagen, etc. And sometimes they can be, like you know that you have read what are tendons and ligaments. They also fall under connective tissue. Tendons, the elastic tissue which connects muscles to the bone, and ligaments which connect bones to the bones and held them in proper position. Then supportive connective tissue. So as the name suggests, supportive, it provides support to the body. For example, it further is divided into two types, and we know that it is cartilage and bones. So you all know about the bone. Bone is the hardest connective tissue. It has good supply of blood vessels and nerves, and we have read that it is made up of cells, we call them osteoblasts, and a rigid mass of inorganic salts. Which are these inorganic salts? Like calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, etc. Okay, and cartilage is a non-porous tissue. It has thickened intercellular substance, that is matrix. So this is cartilage, and this is bone. You can compare here the empty spaces in cartilage, that is sometimes called lacunae. And cartilage does not have the rich supply, any blood supply or the nerve supply. So it is basically found, you all know that nose and ears are made up of cartilage. Apart from that, you can give certain other examples like trachea, bronchial tubes. These are the parts of your respiratory system, and we will read in the next coming chapters. Even at the ends of the long bones, they are also made up of cartilage. The third type is fluid connective tissue. So as the name suggests, fluid connective tissue, you all know that which type of tissue is fluid in your body, blood and lymph. And this also you have read, blood is composed of fluid part is called plasma, and the cellular part, that is the three types of cells: red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Lymph, and lymph, which is also formed from plasma. This fluid surrounds the body. It is essentially the blood plasma. It is formed from the blood plasma. We have read in class 8 that when the blood flows to the tissues, in the arteries, in the capillaries, then some of the plasma squeezes out from the blood vessels and it bathes the tissues, and that is called tissue fluid. Then after that tissue fluid, it enters a fresh vessels. We call them lymph vessels. And this lymph vessels contains white blood cells and leukocytes. And this also provides nutrients and helps in the provides immunity by killing the germs. So both blood and lymph are mainly concerned with transportation and also with immunity, that is protection against diseases. So children, in the next video we will complete the next two types of tissues. So you can revise till here. Thank you.